Hi, I'm Shelly with Gilbert Marketplace, and I have done a couple techniques that were inspired by peppermint cactus, and I wanted to show you a couple tricks that I've used. I've been painting probably for about 10 years, and you can do these same techniques on wood also. A lot of people buy these foam boards at the dollar store, and maybe they don't have access to cut wood. So you can do the same wood techniques that you do on real wood as you could do on the foam board. The most challenging part, I'm going to be truthful with you, I feel, is cutting this board. So a couple things that you may want to purchase are a T-square. Make sure when you're using your razors that you buy a package of new blades, because that's kind of essential to get a real nice clean cut. I know people have said, how do you get it so, straight? So I'm gonna show you my best method, and hopefully that works best, for you. Like I said, you'll need a T-square, your foam board. I use a pencil, a razor, and a tape measure. And I set my T-square, as you can see on my counter here, and we're going to cut this at 3 inches. Now real wood, let's say we're using a 2x4, is technically, they call it a 2x4, but it would actually be 3.5. So if you really want it to be the same thickness as a real wood to look really faux, then I highly recommend you cut it at 3.5, because that would be technically a 2x4 size. And that's pretty typical in the building materials. Now, for this, I'm just going to do 3 inch because these are 20 by 30. And for the project that I'll be using, I'll be needing 6 of those. So it just kind of mathematically works out if I cut them at 3 inches, less waste. So what I want to do is use my T-square like this, and I set the top corner, as you can see, to 3 inches. Now the bottom, unfortunately on the T-square, doesn't have, and so this could move, and then you would end up with not a straight board. So what I do is I use my tape measure, I measure it at 3, and then I make a little line with my pencil, okay? And that gives me a guide. Now, if you hold this down pretty firm, and using your really new sharp razor, if you put it at the corner here and push down, and then run only using the corner of the razor, and just run it around right along the side of this T-square. Now my T-square is metal. I noticed if you use a yardstick that's kind of wood, sometimes your razor kind of gets caught up on that. So this metal kind of works real nice. It's not plastic or any acrylic like that. And you just push down on your T-square and use that corner of your razor. Again, if it's really sharp, it should come right off. Now if you get a little corner, and sometimes this happens at the top because I can't get my razor as close with my T-square, then I just come back in real carefully and just take it apart. That will give you a 3-inch piece that hopefully is perfectly straight. It's kind of nice on both sides. If you're noticing that you're tearing up the paper or the foam, then probably you need a sharper razor. That would be a good indication that your razor is already dull. Obviously I'm cutting on my granite countertop, so I don't have to worry about the surface underneath, except that it does dull your blades, but it's not going to damage your material. If you're cutting it on a wood table, you might consider putting some kind of mat down, or a cutting mat, because you obviously could cut your table. So those are going to be used again for a project that we will be making. I was inspired by peppermint cactus. Like I said, I've been painting a long time, and she does a lot of foam board projects, and I do a lot of tutorials on Dollar Tree projects. So I wanted to show this project for some of you that cannot really use real wood. I'm kind of a fan on doing crafting on a budget, and a lot of times the actual wood actually is a little bit cheaper than using all those tumbling blocks and all that. So again, I set it at 3 inches. I measured with my measuring tape. I made my mark of my pencil. I hold my T-square very firmly. Again, come in with the corner and slowly just come along that line, all the way pushing real firmly, right down the whole side. And you should get a super smooth cut. I will tell you, if you do not stop, you will have, see that little corner up there, it kind of catches a little. And like I said, that's because my T-square is right there in the way. But I can see I have just a little bit not straight there. And that bugs me, but it is gonna happen. But every time you stop, that tends to happen. It's much easier if you continue with a smooth, you know, clean, non-stop razor. Again, 3 inches. Mark my 3 inches. If this is so long, just come and square that up a little bit better, keeping that nice and tight. And let me see, I feel like this might be a little over. See, that's the only thing, is this, if you put your pencil there, it kind of holds it. And then, like I said, firmly hold down on that. It is a little challenging, like I said, because this is such a big piece to work at one time. But this edge really works great. And anything you have metal would work, because I'm not really using the lines or anything like that. So again, we're snagging up on this top corner, and that's just because of my T-square. But I find that it's worth me cutting that little bit of corner and getting it super straight. You know, that just is much easier for my projects than trying to finagle any other gizmo. But this is, you know, what I found to be the best. And after you get these all cut, we will be using these to glue together. And again, we're going to use hot glue, and we are going to glue them together. You can glue them prior to painting them because you won't need all the layers to be painted. If you want to, you can do that also, but it's really not necessary. I feel like it's wasting product that you don't need to waste. It's like, you know, painting a dresser on the back that's going against the wall. They don't do that. Now, if you get stuck like that, that's because your razor is not tilted up. You're really only needing that corner, and you're gonna see there's gonna be a mistake because I stopped. So you know what, and this did not cut. But I was digging too deep, and like I said, what you'll do is you'll just come on back with your razor, kind of bend it, because it cut. It just cut up a little bit, and it happens. So we will just get that right out there. But it's actually pretty straight for getting stuck up. But when it starts to kind of snag up, then chances are what's really happening is that you don't have the angle of the razor correct. You'll just want to use the front angle. So after that seems to be getting dull, just turn it around and use this angle. Now on this last piece, so we cut this, you technically would get 6 3-inch piece cuts. What I normally do, because obviously the manufacturer is going to have the nicest cut, I flip that over so that I have a really super straight edge, because they obviously are going to do a better job than me. And I like when I put my projects together to go with one side that for sure is pretty much flawless. So that's what I do. It doesn't, you know, necessarily have to be done. Let me just mark this so that it doesn't move, because we don't have a lot of play, because there's going to be a little bit of waste on this. And you know what, those pieces you can use for shims. You can also use for you know, building different things, practicing your technique and whatnot. Okay, so again, just in the corner, push down and just go along this edge nice and tight. And like I said, if you can just keep flowing nice and smoothly, you will get the best maximized cut. And this may be my razor getting a little bit dull or me not pushing hard enough, I don't know. But we're just gonna stick it in there and just lightly catch what I didn't catch. So still pretty perfect. Like I said, if you get a little hair or something like that, just kind of pick that off. But those now should be super straight. And we'll be ready to build our project. And those, like I said, as you use more and more of them, your project can get really thick and pretty durable. Obviously, it's never going to be as strong as wood. However, these are good alternatives for, I had someone mention their trailer because it's light and, you know, they're not really fabricated with real materials. So this is a good alternative for hanging something light. People have asked me how I hang the projects. M3, and I know you can purchase that at the dollar store, is really great for using that on the back, and it doesn't damage your wall and you can take that down. But that's my tutorial for today on how to cut the foam board, and I hope this explains a little bit better on how you do that and how you get them super straight. And I will do another tutorial on how to construct them. And just thank everyone for watching, and if you can sprinkle my video, I'd really appreciate it.